Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. Today we're going to explore a very important topic, the myth of the perfect script, why therapy can't fix narcissistic relationships. This is a subject that many survivors struggle with, especially early on. We'll discuss why certain messages aren't heard soon enough and why traditional approaches often fall short. I'll share insights into how these relationships work and what really matters in the healing process. So, let's dive in and start understanding what's truly at play here. Let's talk about something really important, advice giving in therapy. When a therapist tells you what to do, it actually undermines the core mission of therapy. Because if someone else is telling you what to do, then it's not really your choice anymore, it's theirs. And that's a problem. When therapy is done ethically and effectively, the power shifts back into your hands. The goal is for you to feel strong enough, clear enough, and grounded enough that eventually you don't need therapy at all. It's about fostering autonomy, not dependency. Therapy is meant to help you build capacity, gain insight, and discover your authentic self. It's about equipping you with tools that you can internalize and use on your own, outside of sessions. And of course, creating a safe space, emotionally and psychologically, where you can explore and heal. The relationship between therapist and client has a clear purpose. One of the first lessons every ethical therapist learns is that therapy isn't about handing out instructions. A therapist isn't a friend, and it's not about managing your life for you. Therapy isn't a machine that dispenses advice. So why won't your therapist just give you advice? Well, giving advice can actually limit your growth. It can foster dependency instead of independence. Instead, therapy aims to guide you toward discovering your own solutions, building your inner strength. That's the real power of therapy, helping you become your own expert. Therapists don't drag clients toward a specific outcome because therapy isn't about what they want for you. It's really about helping you discover what you truly want, maybe for the first time in your life. On the surface, their job isn't to project their own agenda onto your life. Instead, it's about holding space for you, asking meaningful questions, and understanding what you feel, what you fear, and what you hope for. You might hear a therapist say things like, "This man is destroying your nervous system," or "You are so much more capable than you realize," or even "He's never going to stop cheating on you," or "Please leave him." But what's important to realize is that, internally, they might be thinking very differently. A good therapist, a seasoned one, is skilled at developing what's called a world-class poker face. They have thoughts, opinions, and human reactions just like anyone else. They're human beings with feelings. And here's the part that survivors don't often get to see: therapists are human too. Yes, sometimes they want to scream, "Please leave him," just as much as you do. So, while they maintain that calm, neutral exterior, underneath they're experiencing the same emotional reactions. This is a reminder that therapists aren't infallible. They're human too, navigating complex feelings while holding space for your healing journey. When it comes to a narcissistic individual's rage, gaslighting, or sudden moments of calm, it's important to understand that these reactions have nothing to do with your tone or timing. They are inherently unpredictable. No matter how skilled a therapist is, they cannot fix unpredictability in someone who refuses to change. Even the best therapist in the world cannot craft a sentence that suddenly makes a narcissistic person behave rationally. The core issue isn't how you communicate, it's their dysregulation, their emotional instability. And let's be clear, they don't have a secret decoder ring that makes narcissistic individuals manageable. You might hear terms like narcissist whisperers, crisis negotiators, or forensic accountants, people who are trained to handle high-stakes or unpredictable situations. But therapists are not those people. Therapists are not crisis negotiators or magic wands. They don't have hidden powers or secret scripts that can neutralize narcissistic rage. Many survivors assume that therapists have some secret negotiation tactic or a magical phrase that can calm a narcissist. But the truth is, that's not how it works. What therapists can't do, even if you ask them repeatedly or beg, is to control or predict a narcissist's unpredictable behavior. Their ability to help is limited to working with what can be changed, like their own interventions and strategies, rather than trying to control someone's uncontrollable reactions. When survivors ask, "What do I say?" they are unknowingly trying to solve an impossible problem. There is no magical tone, no strategic phrasing, no ideal timing that suddenly turns them into the person they were during the love bombing phase. There is no perfect sentence that makes a narcissistic person safe. But the truth, the painful, radical truth, is this. This belief comes from trauma bonding, from hope, from the desire to preserve the relationship, or protect the children, or avoid the terror of separation. It's rooted in feelings of helplessness, that no matter what you do, the ground is never stable. The fear that one wrong word will unleash chaos. And the belief that there must be some perfect way to communicate, some magic sentence that you just haven't found yet. Survivors ask this because they're desperate to avoid the next explosion. But underneath that question is a deeper wound, a core belief that they're powerless in the situation. And what they're really asking, the question therapists can't answer, is, "Tell me what to say." Because they're seeking a simple solution in a complex, often uncontrollable, and emotionally charged situation. This is the point where real therapeutic work really happens. It's not about finding the perfect thing to say or the perfect line to comfort someone, because honestly, no such perfect line exists. Instead, it's about accepting that reality, that healing doesn't follow a perfect script. At this stage, survivors are often reclaiming their autonomy, rebuilding their sense of identity, practicing self-compassion, and working on stabilizing their nervous systems. It's also where we address deeper wounds like betrayal trauma, practicing radical acceptance, and processing grief. Once we reach this phase, therapy shifts into a different kind of work. Sometimes it's a difficult truth to face. Sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. After years of trying every communication strategy, boundary script, emotional regulation tool, or safety technique we can think of, there are moments when nothing seems to change. And that can be incredibly frustrating. Yes, survivors can feel helpless, feeling like they're stuck or that progress is impossible. But the truth is, therapists can feel that way too. It's a shared experience of helplessness that often goes unspoken, yet it's an essential part of the healing journey. Therapy couldn't give her the perfect script. It could only help her see the cost of hopping for one. But the perfect script never actually existed. Every time she tried to follow a specific plan, it only drained her further. She made financial and parenting decisions not based on what was truly right, but on what wouldn't trigger his explosions. She was trying to avoid being called crazy, to keep the children stable, and to steer clear of court battles. Deep down, she hoped there was some perfect way to talk to him, some magic phrase that would make everything better. But the reality was different. She was dealing with gaslighting, silent treatment rage, and overt rage. These were his modes of controlling and confusing her. I want to highlight that one client, a brilliant woman, spent years trying to navigate these three modes of his. She was carrying the entire marriage on her shoulders, trying to make sense of it all. This example really illustrates the broader point of our presentation, that in these complex, abusive dynamics, the victim often becomes the primary caregiver, stabilizer, and decision-maker, while the abuser remains unpredictable and untrustworthy. It's a painful, exhausting cycle, and understanding these modes helps us see why hope for a fixed script or a perfect solution is often misguided. Radical acceptance isn't about giving up or surrendering. It's really about seeing the truth clearly without any distortion or denial. It's recognizing what is, rather than what we wish it to be. It also means letting go of the fantasy that your words alone can change someone who has no interest in changing. You can't force change on another person, especially when they're not receptive. This is a pivotal moment for survivors. It's often where you either choose to move forward and grow, or get stuck in the same patterns for years. The reality is, this relationship, the one you're trying to change, cannot be different by sheer effort alone, even though, deep down, you might wish your life could be different. Before a survivor can truly reclaim their power, they must face one brutal truth. That radical acceptance is about accepting the reality that is, not the one they wish for. Survivors tend to resist this because it feels like giving up. But in reality, it's about acknowledging the truth so real change can happen. This slide highlights a tough but necessary step, confronting the reality that many survivors resist, and understanding that accepting it is a vital part of healing. And when you do this work well, you get to stand inside that house, grounded, independent, and proud, knowing that you've built something that is truly your own. Therapy provides you with the tools to do just that. You build your house, your safe space. It's about creating safety both inside yourself and in your external life. We focus on developing your autonomy and authenticity, helping you rebuild internal trust that may have been broken. It's also about grieving the relationship you wished you had, allowing space for healing. Therapy also helps regulate your nervous system, which is crucial for managing trauma responses. It supports breaking the cycle of self-blame, so you're not stuck in that negative loop. Understanding your trauma responses is key, as it helps set realistic expectations for your healing journey. Radical acceptance plays a big role here, helping you accept what has happened and what is, without judgment. Effective therapy for survivors is not about quick fixes or magic spells. Therapists are not magicians. There's no 5-step plan that will instantly fix everything. Instead, it's about the long, powerful work of rebuilding yourself, step by step, day by day. The real purpose of therapy in narcissistic abuse recovery is to help you reclaim your sense of self, to restore your inner strength, and to rebuild your life with confidence and hope. So, at this stage, I want to emphasize that you've spent enough time living according to someone else's rules. Therapy is really about rediscovering your own voice, your own boundaries, your own sense of self. It's not about fixing others, because honestly, they can't give you a perfect sentence or a magic solution to change your partner. Instead, therapy provides you with the tools to rebuild yourself from the inside out. And that, I believe, is the real work, focusing on your growth and healing. What's important to understand is that therapists want the best for you. They want you to heal, to find peace, and to stop living under what I call emotional tyranny, the controlling or limiting beliefs that others might have imposed on you. Even if they don't say it directly, even if they don't tell you what they secretly wish for you to do, their actions and support show that they truly want you to thrive. And in the end, remember, therapists are rooting for you. Their goal is to see you succeed in reclaiming your life, your happiness, and your sense of self. So this journey is about empowerment, about finally stepping into the life you deserve, with the support and understanding you need along the way.